They're the fastest metal cars you've ever seen. Mattel's new Hot Wheels. Collect them by themselves or get them in wild new action sets, like the drag race action set, the stunt action set, the Hot Curves race action set. Get Mattel's new Hot Wheels, the fastest metal cars you've ever seen.
Hey, welcome back to the Crossroad Diecast Speed Shop. I'm Skip, and I am outside our shop with our shop project manager, Melissa, and we're waiting for this week's project. This week's project is a 1974 Hot Wheels original Redline Breakaway bucket. Matter of fact, the Breakaway bucket was only built in 1974 by Hot Wheels. It came out in blue. Later on, it was retooled, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get this thing off the truck and into the shop.
Later.
All right. Well, we've got our Breakaway bucket all broken down. And so we're going to be getting ready to start our project here. Let's take a look and see what we've got. First time I saw one of these Breakaway buckets was on Time Rider. Lee at Time Rider. He did one of these. He did a restoration. I saw it, and I happened to see one of these on eBay, and it was really a reasonable price, and so I picked it up. This one's kind of beat up. It's got a little bit of corrosion wear, I think, on it, and it's really, you can see the paint's flecked off of it, but that's okay. We're gonna take it apart. When you look at this, you can see the front end of it. It looks like it's inspired from I believe 1973 Pontiac Grand Am. The first generation Grand Am had this type of front, and it looks like they put it onto like some type of like a fifth generation El Camino, and at least that's kind of what the Hot Wheels Wiki also said. It was kind of looks like that kind of a style build. So we're going to put this together. Again, the whole point of the National Redline Day is to take a Redline car and restore it, and so that's what we're going to do. We got these Redline wheels here, the through the wheel axles. They have it here. I don't think we're going to be able to restore those. Those are pretty bad, and they're pretty. Look at this one. This is a pretty wonky wheel, so it's not going to be really good for a restoration. But we got it all drilled and tapped, anyways. Windshield, good cleaning. I don't think it's too scratched. Maybe a little bit. I don't know what's right there, but we'll take a look at it, get it cleaned up, give it a dip in the Pledge Revive. In the interior, just needs to have some, there's nothing really there, but basically you can barely see the seats. That's about it. So we'll take and clean those up too and get it ready. So let's get in the shop and get our project going. Well, here we are. We're still moving on with our build on the Breakaway bucket, National Redline Day. And one of the things I did is, what I wanted to do on this one, I wanted to at least try on this one, is to try some of these snap-on bearings. Now, I've used those on a couple different projects that I've done, but this is the first time I've done it on an original Redline. But see, since the through the wheel axles, are on there, it's not just like pulling them off or prying them off like you do with the cap style wheels or hub style wheels. But what I did do is I wanted to try it without having to take out all this axle and grind all that out and everything and go and buy bearing style things. I wanted to try this way, and so what I did is I put I clipped off. I used the clippers, like these clippers here. I use these clippers, and I clipped the wheels. You can see I snipped the wheels off, and then I'm going to snap the bearings. They just snap onto the wheels. Now, if this was a regular mainline car like from today, you're going to find a lot of times that this bearing is a little bit snug, especially once you put the wheel on. It kind of closes down on it a little bit and gets a little bit snug. And so what you're going to want to do is you want to take a little pin vise with a little thin one just a little bit bigger than the hole that's in these clip-on bearings. And then if you do that, then you can take and just bore it out just a little bit, and that'll make it so they'll roll better and stuff. The other way, you're going to have just a shelf car, and not a car that a kid could play with, or you could run down a track or anything like that. So, but once you put this and you put the regular bearing on, I'll show you in a few moments. You put the wheels on; those wheels spin just like they're brand new, like they were meant to be on there. So let's move on. All right, well, we're back, and we've got our base, all chassis, whatever you want to call it, of the Breakaway bucket, all cleaned up. We've put it in lime away in water solution 50-50 mix. We cleaned that up, scrubbed it with a brush, and then we took some of the flits, polished it up. As you can see, it's got a pretty good shine on it there. So that'll be good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put some the wheels on it. Let's see how that looks with the wheels on it. I got these wheels from Second Chance Redlines. They're nice deep dish wheels. Big ones on the back. And medium ones will go on the front. So you can see those wheels spin really nice on there, even with the with snap-on wheels. They work pretty good on there. And again, if you're using those bearings on the mainline car today, you might want to take like a pin vise and just get a drill bit a little bit bigger than the hole and just bore it out a little bit to give yourself a little bit of room, so when it snaps on, it's not so snug that the wheels don't turn. Anyways, let's move on. All right, well, we're continuing on with our restoration of our Breakaway bucket. I have some Pledge Revive here. Pledge Revive, it's pretty good. It's good for doing these windshields. I've already taken the windshield and washed it and with some hot soap and water. So now what we're going to do is to dip it. One of the things about this windshield, as I looked at it closer, there's like a little bit of it's not a crack, it's more like a shattered thing. You know, like if a rock hits your windshield, it's kind of more like it is. I tried scrubbing it and everything, but as I looked at it closer, it looks more like an impact type of thing on there. But I think we're just going to leave it that way. It's not too bad. We'll dip the windshield in the Pledge Revive. And then what you do is you take some, after you dip it, see all that excess? You just touch the edges with a clean paper towel, just like that. Wick away all the excess. And then I usually put it under cover. And you'll see right here, I've got it under cover here. Put a little cover on it. That way the dust can stay off it and just move it out of the way. Okay, let's move on. All right, well, we're back, and we are working on our Breakaway bucket. It's going to be the car we use for the National Redline Day build. And I've got it, because of the toning and some of the other stuff on the car, I decided I stripped it back, and I went with a chrome paint. And then I'm going to use some of this Retroflame blue from Second Chance Redlines. Got it all mixed up and ready to go in the spray gun. So let's get in the spray booth and see what we got. All right, well, we're going to be putting some decals here on the Breakaway bucket. I've already put some on the top and side one. That was a little bit difficult. You can even see there's still a little bit of, right along here, there's still a little bit of the extra that's there. I'm going to have to, after it clears up, I'll have to clean it up. And then I did the top. So now we're going to do the hood. And what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of the micro set on the hood. And let's see if we can get this on right. It's probably good to have the point where it needs to be. You can move the rest of it around. Like so. And just use this Q-tip swab to get all the excess bubbles out, like so. I apologize for not talking too much, but it does take a little bit of concentration to get everything together. And then afterwards, I will use some of the micro solve, another swab, and I will get it, so that way it kind of makes it sit better. So we'll get it into clear coat and take a look at what we got. And here's my fully restored Hot Wheels original Redline Breakaway bucket. It's my entry into this year's National Redline Day celebration, and it's the build that's being hosted by both the Diecast International Builders and the Four Horsemen. The Breakaway bucket has a prototype front end from a first-gen Grand Am. This is a 1974 cast. It's the only year that it came out. The original one came out in 1974, and it was the only year it was produced. Later on, it was retooled, and it came out in both Spectraflame Blue and Spectraflame Green. It didn't have all the decals on the later ones, if I'm correct about that. And I think the green one might have even had real riders as well. On this one, I used Retroflame Blue from Second Chance Redlines, along with the decals that are replicas of the original ones. And then I also coated all that with 2K Clear from Diecast Graveyard. The Redline wheels are reproduction wheels that came from Second Chance Redlines as well. This is a really fun build. I really like that. I love restoring the old cars and bringing them back to life, giving them new life to those diecasts. And again, I want to thank the Diecast International Builders, Ron, Mark, Caleb, and Cole, for partnering with each of us Four Horsemen, Paul, Andrew, Tom, and myself, and hosting this build and doing this. So I hope you'll check out everybody. There should be a lot more builds on this because of the two channels combining, the two groups combining to do this. And so I hope you'll check out everybody else's build. There will be recap videos as well. And again, God bless, and thanks for stopping by the shop.